Hello. When I discuss UNO history, I always stress how important it is to remember the lives and the contributions of previous members of the university community. This is particularly important during our centennial year. All we have today, excellent faculty, quality academic programs, wonderful facilities, and a highly competitive athletic program exist because of the hard work and dedication of former students, staff, faculty, and administrators. It is our privilege in university archives to acquire primary resource materials from, and if we are lucky, get to know some of these individuals. Today, I wish briefly to present three people. Each was an important part of our very early years as the University of Omaha, and one I was fortunate enough to meet in person. First, let me introduce Walter Nelson Halsey. Halsey graduated in 1902 from the Presbyterian Theological Seminary at Omaha, where he met the Reverend Daniel E. Jenkins, an instructor at the seminary. Professor Jenkins helped establish the University of Omaha, OU, in 1908, and soon secured Halsey's help to govern the institution. Until his retirement in 1918, Walter Halsey served OU as Dean of Faculty and Professor of Latin and Pedagogy. His graceful longhand minutes of early faculty meetings are preserved in archives and on display here today. Dean Halsey was a favorite of early OU students who felt at ease with his gentle respect for learning and Christian endeavor. The University of Omaha class of 1913 had a special reason to appreciate Professor Halsey. In April of that year, he wrote the class song entitled 1913, The Students' Glee. I am going to read the final stanza. It is clearly an appeal to a higher authority as the class heads out into the world. We grasp at the elusive, we chain the fleeting thought, imprison in cell-like sentences emotions heaven wrought. Shall we lead men to conquest or pilot to new strands? Oh, give us visions clearer, right thoughts, and ready hands. This issue of the Yellow Sheet, the student newspaper, includes the entire song and is on display here today. The second person I wish to introduce is Anna Mary Mckee. Anna Mckee was the daughter and granddaughter of Presbyterian clergymen. When Anna was 19 years old and fresh from a 3-year stint at Lindenwood College, a private Presbyterian finishing school in St. Charles, Missouri, she decided to become a home missionary. So in September of 1884, she traveled to New Mexico under the sponsorship of the Women's Executive Committee for Home Missions of the Presbyterian Church to serve as principal of a mission school in Los Ranchos de Taos. Over the following 10 months, Anna endured inadequate teaching facilities, food shortages, and the absence of the Victorian culture to which she had grown accustomed. Still, the plucky teenager remained focused upon two goals: convince the native population to embrace the wonders of Protestantism and improve the education of their children. Although there is evidence that Anna Mckee had some success, particularly with the children, her students, when she left the frontier in July of 1885 to return to her parents' home in Illinois, she was discouraged. as she wrote to her father, "I think we have done some good, but we can hardly see it. Perhaps we are only permitted to prepare the ground." Now, although disappointed and exhausted, when Anna returned to civilization, she did return with at least one very pleasant memory. Shortly after arriving in New Mexico, a gallant young man helped her out of a carriage, Walter Nelson Halsey, a 21-year-old teacher at the Mora Training School. The two were married in November of 1889. So the decision then by Walter Halsey 20 years later to become an administrator at the University of Omaha had significant consequences for Anna. As the dean's wife, Mrs. Halsey was drawn into campus life. She taught part-time, counseled students, and organized receptions for the university community. Anna also placed herself solidly behind the effort to increase school spirit. She sewed in 1910 a miniature pennant for each of the 30 to 40 OU students. One of these is on display here today. In 1911, she created the school's first full-size pennant, which was presented to the university in 1949 by Anna's daughter, Helene Halsey Lindstrom. This pennant is also on display here today. Following Walter's retirement, Anna enrolled at OU and at the age of 60 received a degree in education in June 1925. Walter and Anna Mckee Halsey celebrated their golden wedding anniversary in November of 1939. After tremendous contributions to the University of Omaha and a lifetime of Christian service, Walter passed away in 1943 and Anna in 1948.